Okay, hello everybody and welcome to Madrid United. It is Sunday afternoon. It is earlier and earlier. I've got a full house with me today. I've got all your favourites with me. First of all, going across from me, we've got Keane. How you doing, Keane, buddy? You okay, mate? Good to have you back on.
Thanks for having me back on, Adam. It's a pleasure to be on. Hopefully we have a better internet connection than we did there last week.
Yes, we're all praying for that.
Absolutely.
Mary's back on as well. How are you doing, Mary? Good to have you back on.
Thanks so much for having me, Adam. Hopefully my audio will be better today as well.
Yeah, you're sounding crystal clear. Don't worry about that. Then we've got the likely lads at the bottom there, my dynamic duo. Owen, how are you doing, bud?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. I'm getting happier and happier. This podcast is getting more and more Irish every week.
It is. It's crazy. It's like a full on Irish mode. They've only got the guy from way over the pond, old Tim there at the bottom, who's holding his own.
The token Canadian.
Yes, that's the one. How's it going, Tim? You okay, mate?
Good, mate. It's hot as crazy over here, but I'm good.
I've got to admit, it is pissing it down here. I'm not going to lie.
It's pretty miserable.
It is typical Manchester horrible weather. But we are going to need a few of these. It is slightly earlier tonight, by the way, people. Thanks for all tuning in. But I will be jumping straight across from United Stand. That show is starting as well soon. So we've got to start with why everything's moved forward. And that is because it has just broke. I know Keane messaged me, Tim messaged me. Pogba has signed a new deal. Romano's all over it. Damasio's all over it. Sky are starting to jump on it as well now. It is the breaking news. And this just, to me, feels like, because we had so much we were going to talk about tonight already. I'll come to you first, Keane, mate. But this just feels like this has been put out today by United just to appease the fans and take away the impact that this week has had, because it's been all bad for United this week, mate. It just seems like it's deflecting what's really going on at the moment. We knew Pogba was close to a deal, but I feel like the announcement of it today is simply because United need to put something out there, mate.
Yeah, like I think PR-wise, this week has been an absolute disaster for United. Like you look at the Harry Maguire situation, obviously it's been very highlighted in the media. And then obviously the Jadon Sancho deal looks like to be collapsing. Looks like that's on the back burner for 12 months. So from a PR standpoint, United needed to do something positive this weekend, this week. And so it's absolutely fantastic that Paul Pogba is committed his future to Man United, because he's a very big asset for the club. He's one of my personal favourite players. But yeah, definitely it's been good. It's definitely been a positive news after kind of a negative week for the club.
Oh, definitely. I mean, Mary, how are you looking at? I mean, it is good for us. I'm definitely happy that Pogba's signed his new deal as a player that we actually really do need to be keeping hold of. Definitely, if we want to move forward, we need that calibre of player in. But in terms of the announcement, are you sort of thinking the same way? United fans were long in the tooth with this stuff now, and how United work things?
Very, very sceptical. The Maguire stuff, and then look, our rivals around us are signing players. We're only one of 3 Premier League teams that haven't signed any players yet so far this summer. Yep. The Twitter account are tweeting out about West Brom and Fulham. No players coming in. I think the whole Pogba situation, it's good for us that he is signing, but I do think it's a marriage of convenience, because we can't sell him this summer and no one's going to buy him. So I think he'll still go, but it is a positive.
That's it. Yeah, it is a positive, Owen, mate, on top of what has been an absolute shocker of a week, mate.
I mean, Harry Maguire, you can take the boy out of Sheffield, you can't take the Sheffield out of the boy, can you? I mean, he's just it was an absolute nightmare moment. He's the captain, he's held to such a high accountability, he's an England international. The Pogba deal, I think we all, since our sort of turn of form and getting into the Champions League, I think we all thought Pogba was going to sign. I don't think it's a massive shock. I think it's just random that it's been announced now. It's just, you never know when contract signings are going to get announced. We're just having a bit of a pony week, really, aren't we? I think it's just getting worse and worse. And I think we are going to sign that fella from Serbia. What was his name? Stefanovic or something. That was a £10 million signing. That seems like it's coming through.
Straight back out on loan, mate.
Is he? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's going straight back out on loan. So yeah, it's a nothing deal again in terms of what we really need, mate.
Yeah, Gabriel seems to like he's nailed on for Arsenal because Romano's tweeted out those magic words.
Yeah, it's on Sky Sports. It's all been signed, sealed, and delivered, mate. This one, so yeah. I mean, Tim, Pogba signing is great. Gabriel, like Owen just touched on there, signing for Arsenal. It's another load of banter coming our way from another club that's nowhere near our level. But in terms of us moving forward, mate, we haven't moved forward one bit since the window opened, and I think the club are trying to pull the wool over our eyes again, mate. It just feels that way. I don't know if you're feeling different about what the other guys have said already, but this timing is impeccable. It's perfect PR United, this.
Oh, yeah. And just to clarify, I'm just reading Romano, and I guess Riola was speaking to Sky Sports, and it doesn't look like the deal is done yet. It's just saying that he says Pogba is a key player for Man United. They have an important project, and he's 100% included. Man United will not accept any bid on this summer to sell Pogba. We're going to speak about a new contract soon. No stress. So it just sounds, it doesn't sound like the deal is done, but just that hopefully it's coming. But yeah, absolutely. This is just taking the pressure off. This week with the Maguire thing and now with this has just taken it's spin for the club. Some negative spin with Maguire and some positive spin here, and it's just taking sort of the shine off, the spotlight off. What is it? Such a disaster of a transfer window so far. Just an absolute nightmare.
It's been absolutely horrendous. Jerome there with the super chat says this board is as reliable as United's backline this season. I mean, on the pitch, the backline hasn't been horrendous, I don't think. But off the pitch, Maguire's holding it up now for us. So, I mean, we're looking at this now as, like Tim just said there, then it's another one with United. I'll come to you on this one, Mary. Every time another club makes an announcement or something gets brought up on the news, it just seems concrete. Whereas United, it's just like a link that's been leaked. If someone's just said something, it just feels, like I just said to Tim then, it just feels like PR United. The fact that this isn't an official announcement, it's just a little bit of news which looks like it's just been put out there to appease the fans who are getting restless now. You can feel it. I can feel it on my social media account. I'll go through a few instances in a minute and we'll get into some other subjects, but it just feels like Maguire, Gabriel not coming over the line, why we was even linked with him in the first place, or let alone let it known that we was linked with him, and that Arsenal were going to beat us to buying a player. Nonsense. A team that's not even in the Champions League. That's just embarrassing for us, and we're just going to get the banner. But again, Mary, it's not good for us, it's not good for the fans, and there's a lot of debating and arguing going amongst the fan base again now because of this. There's nothing ever set in stone with United. It's just little bits of news here and there. Nothing ever is concrete with us.
No, and we take an age to get any signings done over the line. Look at City, look at Chelsea. They've had signings done even before the window opened. United dragging it out. And even we've been linked to everybody like that. Like Gabriel, were we being used for him to get more wages and more money at Arsenal? The club didn't come out and deny it. And in the last few days, I've seen Glazers out trending on Twitter, Woodward out, a lot more noise on Twitter as well. Fans aren't happy, and it's starting to get, like you said, a lot of unrest is starting to happen. People's patience are running out, where we're seeing our rivals around us sign big players and we're not doing anything. 6 weeks into the window and we've done nothing.
I mean, Keane, to come to you, mate. I mean, Arsenal are closing the gap on us. Tottenham are closing the gap on us. Chelsea are moving further away, as well as City and Liverpool. And we're sat here doing absolutely nothing, mate. It's very understandable how the fans can be upset, wound up, because all they're doing is announcing new shirts. Come to the mega store. Come buy, sell. You know what I mean? Spend your money at Manchester United. I tried to ring the club yesterday. There's no one working apart from the mega store, because I wanted to know what the clarity was surrounding tickets and where we was going with the seat. They've not even got staff working at weekends anymore. Only thing that's open is where they know they can make money, which is in the store. And they're the only staff that are working pretty much at the moment at this club, mate. So you can understand why I'm frustrated. Season ticket holders are frustrated. And all this news.
They don't want to talk to you about your tickets, mate.
Yeah, all the news money back. It's just adding to it. Yeah, that's it. I mean, Keane, is there any way that the fans can be turned at all now? It's just getting worse and worse each summer. and even the most hardened United fans who will back the club to the hill, they've got to be struggling with trying to support them in this and the way things are done and the way things are run at the moment, mate.
Yeah, like with this situation, I look back to the summer of 2018 when we finished second behind Manchester City and they won the league with 100 points. Albeit, look, we got 81 points and like it was our best points tally since post-Sir Alex Ferguson. But we didn't show any kind of ambition after that to kind of bridge the gap to City and sign some players and be competitive again. We signed Diogo Dalot, Fred, and I think it was Lee Grant at the time. And none of them players were going to come in and making a big impact on the first team. You look at this year now, we finished third. We got Bruno in January, and post-lockdown, our form is absolutely fantastic. The club just seems to be happy now with just getting Champions League football. And in terms of that, like Man United have always been, associated with winning trophies and being successful. Like imagine like Roy Keane and dressing room, Rio Ferdinand, Gary Neville. Imagine saying to them, top 4, and we'll be happy with that. They'd be absolute uproar in the dressing room. I don't understand how the club can settle for that now, considering how successful we were as a club. Like the regression is mighty. Like it's kind of sad to see, really.
Yeah, definitely, mate. I mean, Owen Keane touched on a very good point there, mate. 2018, the last time we was in the top 4, very similar situation where we was in a decent finishing position. Yeah, it was a few points behind City, but comfortably in second, and we just needed to move on from there. We needed to invest and just build on top of that. But again, Keane perfectly nailed it there, mate. It does look like deja vu in terms of that scenario. Again, why are we doing this?
It's scary because we've been taking the piss out of Arsenal for years, but we're actually slowly but surely turning into them, and I'm genuinely afraid. I'm genuinely afraid because and I'm hoping that there is some sort of financial woes going on with the Glazers and that hopefully they have to sell because they don't care. They've sucked £1 billion out of the club. They do not give a shit. It's a cash cow for them. It makes them money. It funds everything.
I'll tell you something now. Tom Brady's just signed for the Buccaneers for $90 million.
And Gronkowski.
That's probably where their money is going, towards
$30 million a year on a 3-year contract.
United pays everything for them, boys.
Yeah,
they've taken on the Buccaneers, just to be clear, have taken on $70 million in new salary. It wasn't just they brought in those two, and then they just went after every free agent over here that they could to try to make a run at the Super Bowl. So, and that was all before COVID. So that 140 million pounds that the Glazers took out, a large portion of that went for operating costs at United, and also went for operating costs and wage bills at the Buccaneers. That's not inclusive of the 90 million in cash that they had that is gone as well.
Yeah,
they've been sucking money out of the club for years. It's the best comparison is City have had over $1 billion pumped into them. Look at all the training facilities that have been built, the academies, the production line of talent that they got at City, the way they have a playing throughout the youth team, and then you look at what's happened at United. We've got a leaky roof that ain't getting fixed.
Yeah,
I know.
You sit in the upper tier.
They want to fix that.
If you sit in the set, you're probably getting dripped on because the roof isn't fixed. Like Old Trafford needs to be done up. Fair enough. Like Carrington is relatively new and properly kitted out, but they don't care. We've had over £1 billion sucked out of the club, and it's going to continue to happen. And comfortable with top 4. And if we don't make any signings this summer, that's just going to show. We'll make signings, but if they're not elite level, man, there's no point.
Yeah, again, everyone who's joining in with the comments, thank you very much. All the super chats going through, I can't get them all in because we want to get through everyone's comments as much as possible. Much appreciated. We've gone straight in, 14 minutes, well over 200 people involved. So cheers for tuning in, everybody. Do give the video a share as well. We like to get as many people involved as possible. Hence the packed out panel I've got tonight, which is fantastic. I don't even have to talk that much.
What are you on about? You love talking at times.
I know, mate. I know. I've got to make it look like I don't want to go. You know what I mean? Anyway, Jerome says it there. 3 weeks till the start of the season now, Tim, mate. And the last thing you need is your captain going on a bender and end up having a scrap, mate. But that's exactly what's happened this week as well. We have to touch on Harry Maguire. I like Harry Maguire. I really like the way Harry Maguire plays. I do like arguing with people who don't like him and don't rate him. He's had moments, yes, but a lot of defenders do have their moments as well. But the last thing we needed right now, and all he needed right now, was his captain being held up in a prison or in a jail, in Greece. And that is exactly what has happened. Just to add insult to injury for us Reds, mate. I mean, I don't know what you've made of it, Tim, mate. I mean, are you concerned? We spoke about it on social media and we messaged each other regarding it. I think the most concerning bit for us was the fact that money was tried to was offered in a sort of bribe sort of way to try and quill the argument.
Right.
Now, that is what we can't afford to be lingering around, mate.
Okay, well, I'm going to go on a bit of a rant here because one of the things that really made me angry was the fact that half our fan base went into meltdown mode over this. We don't have all the facts yet. Nobody, I think 2 hours after I got up and read it, whatever morning, Friday, and I'm 5 hours behind. So everything was kicking off. And there's people calling for him to be sold, strip the captaincy. And this was when we had no information whatsoever. Nothing. Nobody knew exactly what transpired. And I was saying then to people, let's get all the facts, right? Thank God none of these people work in HR at some company because they'd be firing people left, right, and center. We got to get all the information. We got to figure out what happened first, and then the club makes their decision. Then it comes out a day later that possibly his sister was assaulted and that he stepped in to help his sister. So everybody just needs to take a step back and take a breath. It's not ideal. It's not a situation, obviously, that we want him to be involved in. Certainly, it's not a good look, but it's not like he was down there with his family, first of all, right? He's out there vacationing with his family. Ollie Holt is going off on him, and I think it was the Mail, about how it's embarrassment and he shouldn't have been Mykonos in the first place. So he shouldn't have gone on vacation. My head I was just exploding. I had to go off social media because of it. It was just driving me nuts. And I've even forgotten what you asked me originally about it, but I just had to get that off my chest, and it's been building up.
You tell him.
Yeah,
you sort him out.
These moments happen all the time. I mean, I'm the best for him, so you just
it doesn't Canadians get too.
It doesn't matter what the original question was, mate. When the rants come out, they come out. It's as simple as that. It's passion. And with no football around, things are going wrong off the pitch when we're having rants about things that are actually happening on the pitch. So I mean, Keane, mate, is it an issue for you? As people blowing this out of proportion, or is there, like some people saying, a question now over his captaincy? You mentioned, would Pogba, if he signs a new deal, would he be brought into any sort of captaincy? To me, Bruno, a lot of people have shouted it out, or is this just a case of everyone who's been on Harry Maguire's back for the last few weeks of the season, which there have been a few, has just jumped straight on this, like Tim said?
I think with the Maguire situation, you kind of have to look at it from two standpoints. Now, from the club standpoint, PR-wise, with the whole Maguire situation, with him getting into a fight and getting arrested, it's not going to look good in them. They're going to have to take some sort of action.
Oh boy, Harry, for that. Oh,
yeah,
63 grand bar bill.
He must have had a good night there.
I'll tell you what. I've been there. Once you start on them rackies, I tell you, the night can go south very, very quickly. And not much of the memory bank is there when you wake up the next day. Believe me.
63 grand though. What's he drinking, Ciroc?
I'd say he's buying rounds of doubles for absolutely everyone in the nightclub.
Do you know what though? Fair play. He should. He's on 125 bags a week. Why not get everyone a drink?
Yeah.
Everyone's going to have a kid in Greece real soon.
What is this obsession with? Oh my God! I don't have children.
We ain't got time for Owen's kids tonight. Anyway,
sorry.
There's too many.
Sorry, Keane. You just carry on what you were saying there, mate. Sorry.
Yeah. So, obviously, as I was saying, with United's standpoint, they're probably looking at it because of the whole situation in the media, and Harry Maguire is a role model, for young kids who are Man United fans, and might be a role model for the squad. Captaincy wise, they might be having second thoughts about keeping him as captain. Now, from a personal standpoint, and seeing why, from the reports that are coming out, why he got into the fight, I can see why. Now, I'm not condoning it in any way, shape, or form. I'm not condoning it, but I can absolutely see why he got involved in that. It's needless to say. But in terms of Paul Pogba with captaincy, look, he did have the captain's armband, kind of, albeit temporarily, under Jose Mourinho back in 2018, and the armband was taken off. I think it was after the Brighton game away, when Pogba questioned Mourinho's tactics. and that was kind of boiling point of their relationship. But seeing Paul Pogba kind of play for France, and you've seen that he's a leader within that squad. Maybe Paul Pogba, if he does get the armband, he can maybe display them leadership qualities that the media, like Graham Souness and all that, who are calling for Pogba to start showing these qualities. Maybe giving him the armband gives him that extra bit of responsibility. Though it remains to be seen. But I know I've seen people shout for Bruno as well. Bruno would be a good shout if the captaincy was up for grabs.
Yeah, I mean, Mary, is there any concern in this for you at all? A lot of people in the comments there are saying it's going to strengthen him, it's going to focus him. I mean, it's a big shout to say that, to be honest. I mean, you shouldn't be doing it in the first place, but circumstances always arrive at certain nights out, and it is difficult as well, especially in a certain climate. Everything is scrutinised, and you know what? It's just one of them. He's the United captain, and any slight mishap is just going to be jumped on. We've seen what happened with Roy Keane in the World Cup when he left that time. The world went into chaos because it was a United player. United captain, is it simply because he's the captain, he's a United player, and this will be no issue when we get back to playing again? You confident in Harry just coming back on the pitch and putting it all to bed?
If on Tuesday this matter is put to bed, then definitely I think, look, we move on from that. If it drags on and on and on, like bribery is a very serious charge. If it drags on, I'm not sure. To be honest, we've seen a lot of players' personal problems off the pitch affect their performances on the pitch. I don't agree that the captaincy should be taken off him. Look, Roy Keane got arrested years ago. Some woman threw a drink over his head and he got arrested, and Fergie had to bail him out. Cantona got a 2-week jail term for that kung fu kick. He ended up doing community service. So, look, I think you have to take into account the circumstances. No, we're not condoning assaulting police officers or bribery. But if his sister got stabbed, if my sister got stabbed in the morning, I'm throwing punches. I'm telling you that right now. I'm protecting my family members. So, I mean,
get in, Mary.
The court girl's coming out there, man. The court girl's coming out.
If he's protecting his sister, I don't have a problem with that. Look, innocent until proven guilty as well. Let's wait and see what comes out from Tuesday. Let's get behind our player and support him. Adam, you're spot on. People have agendas against Maguire because they think 80 million, he wasn't worth it. He's a poor player. Third best defensive record in the Premier League, one of the best in Europe. Maguire was a big part of that. Let's support him and get behind him until we know more.
If there's one thing that we were really good of under Fergie, and hopefully Ole embraces that now too, is whenever something happened in the close season and the players came back, we always circled the wagons. We always rallied behind the player as a club and took them in. And we would use that. I remember when Beckham, after the World Cup in '98, came back and had a blinder of a season because Fergie got him back and said, forget about them. And he took him in the dressing room and said, listen to all these. They hate us. Everywhere we go, we're going to get booed. And they're gonna scream at us. Let's use that to galvanize us and bring us closer together. And hopefully we implement some sort of that. I'm not condoning it either, but I'm just saying that we need to get all the information. But I think the club will galvanize behind them. That's just
us v them. Us v them. Let it.
Us versus them. Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
One always hates United. We're probably, we dropped off in success, and as a result of that, we've dropped off in hatred.
Sorry, that comment there is in the fighting style swinging comment. Just want to clear that one up there for you, Mary, just before anyone jumped on that comment.
Can you have Katie Taylor to run?
But we always get hate, and it's like the penalty thing. Everyone goes mad about,
Oh yeah.
It's just I quite enjoy it. Just like basically.
Yeah, that's what we love. That's what we love as United fans.
Just let it roll, sort of gets your hairs up, and you go for it a bit more. I mean, it's nice to be hated again, isn't it? Because for a couple of years,
it shows we're doing so right on the pitch.
Yeah. Everyone's been feeling a bit sorry for us over the last couple of years. It's nice to be hated again.
That's it. It's exactly it. That's exactly it. Well, you touched on it there, mate. Owen, I've finished with you on Maguire there. You said your piece on him, but going into Maguire, 80 million was mentioned there by Mary, and used as a big excuse for a lot of people as to why they want to slaughter him for his performances that they see as objective, and amongst a number of criticisms on him, which are totally unfair in my opinion. But 80 million, so if you're looking at 80 million for Harry Maguire, then surely the story that came out about United waiting until next summer for Jadon Sancho for a very similar fee is complete bollocks, mate. What are you having on this one, pal? Wait until next year? I just think that's a load of crap, mate, to be honest.
No,
I can't see United. That brings everyone back into it. Sancho's backed up because it looks like we don't want him anymore. So for me, I don't think that's a goer at all. I mean, any sort of look at that from your side on that story, mate, or is it like I said there, mate? Sancho,
I just can't
not
see it
next
happening.
year.
I can't see it happening now. It's really sad because I think if you bring Sancho into that side, into that front line, that's diamond, that's Premier League level winning front line, and it pushes us forward. It's a signing that's a massive step, but it's just not going to happen now. I don't think. I think we'll link with David Brooks for £40 million. That just screams like mediocrity to me. There's no ambition with that signing. It's just a sort of a plug a gap and just hope for the best. That it's not. As a club, we're just a shit show at the moment, and I don't think Sancho's going to happen now. We were all very convinced it was. 120 million is a lot of money, but you got to pay it. So it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Maguire gets a lot of stick for his £80 million tag, but it's because he's English. That's the main reason we paid that fee. That's literally the reason. The English players go for ridiculous fees. Ben Chilwell was being talked about for 70 or 80 million to Chelsea. Like, it's just relatively young English players just go for plus 30 million essentially on them.
That's it. I mean, going into Brooks there, Tim, mate. I mean, I read it out with a few people on Twitter the other day. I said, these people who are saying that Brooks is the answer for United, I've just said, well, do you actually try to claim that you don't watch football because you don't agree with them? It's crazy. It's what people come out with and said. So these crystal ball worshippers who see right into the future on how David Brooks is going to work at United are judging him off one season in the Premier League, which he was good.
Yeah.
And
playing at Bournemouth.
That's it. He's had 70 games in his professional career, I can think of.
Yeah.
So in terms of that, for me, has been another one. Because I'm looking at it going, right, okay, I'm looking Sancho. Everything's looking good. Sancho's the deal. It's going ahead. And then bang, David Brooks gets thrown in. Gabriel gets thrown in. Arsenal take Gabriel off us. I'm like, okay, that's embarrassing. But Brooks, that caliber of player, mate, I can understand where people are coming from with it. But right now, it's not a player for us. I mean, where's he going to play? This is just getting more and more embarrassing for me, particularly, in my opinion. I don't know what you guys think, whether you think Brooks is the answer. I mean, I'd love someone to actually come on and say why he would be and actually prove me wrong. But I just don't see it after one season at Bournemouth.
And for 40 million, not a chance.
How did Bournemouth charge 40 million for Ake and Brooks? Like, I don't understand this.
It just makes your head spin. Maybe in terms of like a good, if you equate it to, he's probably a level above Dan James, but what would we pay for Dan James? 15 million. So maybe you're looking at maybe 20 million for Brooks as squad depth to bring him in. He's a young player and we can develop him. We're being linked to Douglas Costa now too. It's worrying because the Sancho deal looks like it's collapsing. Dortmund want all the money up front. They're not interested in installments. It's the same thing, the same reason why the Harry Maguire transfer dragged on last year. Leicester wanted installments. And so now, if that deal collapses, you're going to turn to a player that had a good season at Bournemouth, who, if you wanted an idea of what it's going to be like at United, look no further than what's going on, what Harry Maguire is going through right now. Because I guarantee you, if David Brooks got arrested playing for Bournemouth in Greece, there's no way this story blows up and it's all over the place the way it is now. Yeah. And on top of that, he's got to come in and step in and fill the shoes of, a Jadon Sancho that everybody wanted us to bring in. Like, how is that going to play out? That's just not smart business to put it. Like, it's the same as what we did with Dan James. We almost broke him this year, bringing him in and thrusting him into this spotlight and saying, go and make the right wing position your own, when clearly he needs more development. It's just not the proper way to bring players in and develop them and to do business. It's nonsensical. Like, it just, who's in charge of making these decisions? I'd love to know. Like, Joel Glazer's in Florida making these decisions from his condo or his beach house or whatever he's doing. He didn't want to pay $50 million for Bruno. He said that was too much. Like, how is he equipped to make these decisions?
He's not.
He's a rat faced twat from Florida. That's what he is.
Keane, me and you spoke with Phil Brown, who's been on my show. He's been on your channel as well, quite a few. He's well in depth and very knowledgeable about the ins and outs of the United finances, working over there in LA and how finance works over there in the franchises and so on and so forth. But he's had a big say in how things working at the moment. We touched on Brady and that money there. It just seems like the priority is swinging back across the pond, in my opinion, in terms of what's happening at the moment. And this summer could really be, and unfortunately for Ollie, mate, this is going to come down on him because he has to be judged this season as well. Because he is going to come out, as much as it's probably going to be scripted, he is going to come out and say he's happy with this squad at the start of the season. And if it goes wrong, they're going to come down on him, mate. I do feel a little bit sorry for him right now because this side of it is out of his hands. All he can do is stand up and say he's not happy, but we know he's not going to, mate. And it's just going to be this summer, by the looks of it, the one when the shit really hits the fan, mate, by the look of it.
Yeah, like, you touched on it there. Like, Ollie's not going to come out and he's not going to say, like, he's not happy with the squad. He's not Jose Mourinho. He won't throw his ties out of the pram. He's simply not going to do that. But unfortunately, it could be a situation where Ollie's actually made the scapegoat for the Glazers and Joe failures to be confident in the transfer window. Like, that's unfortunately what could turn out to be the situation. Again, like, I know I'm not a Mourinho lover by any means, but when we finished second, he should have been backed in that summer with signings. This summer, Ollie needs to be backed. If we want to be challenging, he needs to be backed. And the situation is, he's going to say he's happy, clearly isn't, and he's not going to throw his ties out of the pram. It'll be a situation where we have a really tough start to the season, and by Christmas, he could be on the verge of the sack. Like, that could ultimately be a situation where he's in, and, like, it's not fair. Simply, it's just not fair.
You know the thing with that Mourinho one too, really quickly, that really made me angry was that the same summer they signed him to the extension?
Yeah, it was a couple of months before that he got the extension.
Because he was linked to PSG.
So if you're going to extend him, why aren't you backing him? If you're not going to back him in the transfer market, then go in a different direction.
Yeah, where did
It's infuriating.
Owen's just done one. He's gone. Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to get your opinion on that as well, Mary, because this summer now, looking at, every single picture I posted one out earlier on about Ole, and he just looks like a sitting duck. He really does right now, because we all know he isn't going to get the tools. He has got some tools there now, and some hardened Ollie out critics will say, well, he's going to have to turn into a better coach and transform these players. But we know what Jurgen Klopp had to do. We know what Pep Guardiola had to do, and that was spend a lot of money to get up to the top. Look at what PSG have done. Bayern Munich just take every decent German player that's in the German league. It's a one-team league. And you know what? To get back up there, investment it's much needed. And it just looks like this summer, again, like I said, I think this is going to be the one where it all comes to a head for me. And I think Ollie's going to be the one who sat there taking it all on himself, on his shoulders again, unfortunately.
Every time since Fergie left that we've finished in the top four, the following that summer, the Glazers don't spend as much money. So when we finish fifth and we finish sixth and we finish seventh, they spend loads of money. But the seasons we get into the Champions League, they don't spend money. And this is looking like the exact same situation now. That was under Van Gaal when we finished fourth. It was under Jose when we finished second. We're not going to. Last season was 70 million net spend. The season before was at 60 million net spend, and we didn't even get into the Champions League. So, and like Tim touched on as well, they've spent a fortune on the Tampa Bay Bucks. So our transfer money has gone on them. So I'm not expecting. I think we'll sign Brooks and bargain basements, last minute Gallo signings, and that's it. I can't see Sancho. Ollie's not going to be backed like he should.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and to obviously everyone knows I'm going to be spinning across onto the United stand soon as well. So I just want to get a quick roundup from everybody before I go. In terms of what do you think we are going to? I said, what do you think? It's like I'm talking about people at the second entity, but who do you think we're going to sign? Owen, mate. I mean, I don't see anyone. I don't see anyone at all, mate. That's what I'm thinking right now. I do think someone will come in, but it will be like Mary said. I think it won't be anyone of significance.
Mm-mm.
If Sancho happens, I will be surprised now, and it will be us blowing our whole budget, and we won't be buying anyone else but him. Is there anyone you see us going for? Not linked with hardly anyone. The one we did get linked with, apart from Sancho, has just gone to Arsenal, which is embarrassing on its own. So what's happening, mate? Who do you see coming in, if anyone?
There's one link that's a small link, but I love it so much that I have to talk about it. Is that beautiful little Frenchman, N'Golo Kante? If we signed him, that'd make me extremely happy. It's a possibility. Chelsea are apparently open to offers. If we signed Kante, a midfielder, Kante, Bruno, and Pogba, that is, I mean, it's sending me to my happy place. That's what it is doing, and.
Yeah,
I'd love that signing.
They have got midfielders in abundance at the moment, Chelsea, with what they have got there. I mean, Kovacic and Jorginho, they've got midfielders coming out. I mean, I'll come to you, Tim. Why aren't United? I've said it before. I said it on Wednesday. I know Alaba's probably going to sign a new deal at Bayern, but why aren't United the club size they are, forcing Alaba to at least take note? Why are we not in for Thiago Silva as a centre-back for 2 years?
Mm-hmm.
Why are we not going for a Kante? If you put Kante, Thiago Silva, and then another forward in, a Sancho possibly, you're talking a game-changing summer.
Mm-hmm.
But we just seem to be so far behind the likes of Chelsea. Chelsea are miles ahead of us right now.
I think they're focusing so much time on the Sancho deal that, knowing that they really have to get him this summer, because next summer, there's going to be other clubs that come in for him once there's more money available. Yeah. So I think they're pushing to get that deal done. The worry is that it's not going to get done, and then of course you're going to be left with some of these secondary targets who their clubs are going to know that you're coming in for them now because you're desperate, and the price for those players is going to skyrocket as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's why. I think they're so focused on this one deal, and we know how disorganized they are when it comes to the transfer market. I think they're just completely unsure of exactly where they're going to go after the Sancho deal.
That's it, mate. I mean, Keane, Sancho, it's been well documented that Barcelona want rid of Suarez. Is Sancho going to start appearing on the target of Ronald Koeman now at Barcelona? Is this the worry because we've dragged our heels so much? This is a distinct possibility, people, as well. As soon as Koeman puts his targets out, and they know, and everyone at Barcelona knows that Suarez is on his last legs and it's not working for him now as much as it did at the start.
Thankfully so.
A player like Sancho slots straight into Barcelona for me.
Yeah, look, I think with Barcelona, there's a project there, in terms of there's a rebuild that needs to be done at that club. Jadon Sancho, in terms of revolutionising that front three, he'd be a very good choice for Barcelona. I hope it doesn't happen, obviously, but Ronald Koeman definitely want to go for him. I think that in terms of the player United might get in this summer, I was thinking if we didn't get Sancho, maybe Jack Grealish, but even though all the talk about him is after muting, it's gone really quiet. But
yeah,
I'll be honest, I'm not really optimistic about any signings this summer, to be honest.
The Douglas Costa picked up a little steam last week, though.
Oh God, that needs to go away as well. That needs to go away.
With Douglas Costa, he scored 10 goals in 100 games for Juventus. That's scandalous. That's scandalous.
Yeah.
In that team, it is.
He's totally the type of player the board to go for.
Yeah, I mean, Van der Beek going to Barcelona, another one that was there for the taking, but United not. Obviously, this is him dragging the heels again. I keep saying it, but it's proven. And this could easily happen again with Sancho now. It really could, because Barcelona get a new coach in, they're just going to go straight to him and say, right, we need to get back to, and if they see their local rival in Real Madrid taking their spot, then the first thing they do is, right, how do we change it? What do you need? And he says, Sancho's gone. And that leaves us with... Exactly.
David Brooks.
They might dive back in and bring back Marwan Fellaini. You'd never know.
Oh,
that's literally like going from Kate Upton to Lorraine Kelly in like a week. Like, honestly.
Well, no, I think you've just pretty much nailed the whole show there with that one there, because that's just topped it all off. I am going to finish the show up there. I am going to get all these guys back on again. I'm doing probably 2 or 3 shows a week now. As you've seen in the week, everybody, I brought on a few more faces. I brought Zeki back, flawless. I got Dave back on after his car crash, another Northern Ireland lad. It's just full on Irish at the moment. No matter what part it is, we're in Ireland, some part of every single show, but it's great. It's good to have everybody.
As McGregor said, we're not here to take part, we're here to take over.
That's it. It is taking over. It's only me and Tim here holding the fort. But I'm going to come to you first, Keen, mate. I've been on Keen's show before, the weekly armchair podcast, but just give the people a shout out to your socials, mate, and what's going on, please, pal.
So if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's at KeenF23. And if you want to follow our podcast page, is at Weekly Armchair Kickoff on Twitter, and our YouTube channel, the Weekly Armchair Kickoff podcast. And we have a load of content coming soon in terms of football and MMA fighters and stuff like that coming on the podcast. So we've a lot coming up very soon.
Yeah, it is a good show as well, guys. Do tune into that one. Also, a good show and moving with momentum is Mary's there. Give the people a shout out, Mary, to your channel on YouTube and all your socials also, please.
So Twitter is at Mary LUIRC, and a new female Manchester United YouTube channel, Ladies United in Red Chat. Give us a follow.
Brilliant. Do check it out. It is good quality as well, people. It is. My man Owen there, Cockney Red 99. Is that all of your socials, mate?
Yeah, all the socials. You can look, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and then you can look at my own Instagram, Owen Roch1, if you want to see me making an ass of myself on nights out.
That's the one. Derry Girls. Now that is a really good program.
No, let's not talk about Derry Girls, man. Come on.
Tim, my man, he's been doing a lot of work off the scene for the channel as well, Tim, mate. Much appreciated. But just give your socials a shout out as well, Tim, would you?
Personal account, club account for the supporters group here in Niagara. So we'll be
really
back.
Well doing that. I can't handle that, me, with the arrows and points.
I messed it up at first. I was like, Mary's the only one that could get it right.
Yeah, we practice it there before we come on the show. It's like it's just like that. But cheers for all the super chats, loads of them again. Everyone tuning in again, thank you very much. It was a bit frantic tonight. Obviously, the Pogba news dropped, and everyone's jumping on that as well. But we're being realistic here, as always. It does look like a little bit of a cover up for everything else that's going on. But we never know. We may be surprised. We live in hope, Reds. That's what it is. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button if you are tuning in for the first time. There's loads more content coming up. And give it a like, share the video also, and check out everybody's content as well on the channel as well. They're all there in front of you, every single one of them. Do check them out as well. Take it easy, people. I will see you over in a minute, actually, on the United Stand. So if you was tuning into that, I'll go and educate Ricky Said and Flex now. And then move on.
He definitely needs some fucking educating anyway.
Take care, everybody. See you soon.
Take care. Cheers.